Hey y'all, here with a video for a meal prep for veggie only meal. You see my salad items. What I'm gonna have for my salad, I'm gonna have baked potato, and then I'm gonna have some spaghetti squash with spinach. And these are the seasonings and herbs that I'm using. I got the turmeric, the Himalayan salt, pink salt, basil with some garlic, and that was some onion powder. And so this is going to be my meal. This is the prep for my spaghetti squash. And so the ingredients, I'm using some olive oil, basil, pink salt, onion pepper, and some pesto, basil pesto from the jar. And I got my little baster and my knife to cut open the spaghetti squash. So here you see me here, just taking off the sticker for the squash so that won't be burnt when I put it in the oven. And then I'm just going to cut it on open. I did rinse it off. I washed it, so everything has been washed and prepped beforehand before the video. So just going through and splitting the spaghetti squash in half. And so I'll probably shorten it to just squash, but it is spaghetti squash. Depends on if I'm having trouble saying it going forward. But you see me here just kind of going down one side, spin it open. They are not easy, to split. So you do just kind of want to take your time with it. You see me with this big old knife. And so just take your time and make sure you get it open. I kind of open it to the stem, crack it open to the stem, and then just pull it apart instead of trying to cut through that stem part. And then you scoop out all of the middle seeds and things. Now you can say this will be great for composting if you compost. But I didn't do that, so it's going straight to the trash. And so you just remove the middle part of your squash. And I am going to roast or bake it all, the whole squash. Sometimes if it's just like one meal or a couple of meals for me, I will wrap up the other half, put it back in the refrigerator. But I plan on this is meal prep for probably the next 2 or 3 days. The spaghetti squash with the spinach will probably last me a good 3 days this week. And so I'm going to go ahead and do all. So I'm pouring in my olive oil. And now this is something you definitely want to kind of test each time you do it. Sometimes when you pour a lot of oil in there, it leaves the finished product kind of wet. And so you just kind of, put as much as you want to put on there. I'm going to be sauteing it with spinach. And so the finished product is going to be wet anyway. But I wanted to make sure I get because it's a veggies only week. I just, olive oil can be a good source of fat, I believe. Healthy fats. Not sure if it's healthy, but a good source of fats when you're just doing the veggies only. So I just put my normal, just a little bit more. There you saw me dusting on some pink salt. This is the basil pesto that I am just going to rub on the inside and on the rim of the spaghetti squash. I probably should have shot this from a different angle so you guys could see it better, but you get the gist of what I'm doing. Of course, the video is sped up just a little bit but I'm providing a voiceover for you guys. And so yeah, just spreading the pesto throughout on the oils and the salt that was added on there. Added a little bit more of the dried basil leaves. And then that is just a dash of onion pepper. Or I'm sorry, onion powder. You just need to clean up. And then placing it on the cookie sheet to place in the oven. You see my oven is preheating. It is preheating 450, and I'm going to cook it for 45 minutes. One thing about the squash, it needs to be face down so that as it sweats and steams, the juices are pulled down. It's not soaked in even further because it will be wet. And then just add some little slits in the, I don't know if that's called a shell or what, but just so it could vent even more as it bakes. So after the oven was preheated to 450 again, I put it in the oven. And then you'll see me set the timer to 45 minutes. And so now that is complete. Turn it right on over to my air fryer and my sweet potato. So decided to use the air fryer for my sweet potato. You see the salt, and I'm going to rub it with some coconut oil. See me here just putting some holes into the sweet potato and rubbing it in some coconut oil. So as they steam, those will go inside of those holes I poked in there, and add some good fats to the meal, healthy fats, and then sprinkle a little bit of salt. I do grind the salt in my hand just so I can see how much salt is on my stuff, and then I sprinkle it in. And so just rub the potato down with the salt and fold that right on up and place in the air fryer. I think all air fryers only go up to 400. I'm not sure. I've had two at this point, and the highest temperature they went up to was 400. But baking the sweet potato at 400 for an hour. And I usually keep some paper in there. I did end up taking that out just because I heard it flying up toward the top of the air fryer, and I didn't want it to burn in there for an hour. So I pulled that sheet out probably about 2 minutes into the process. And here is the finished squash. I'm just going to flip that over, and they are done, or it is done. And you'll see me just start to pull away the squash. I also, while I was prepping and waiting on the food to finish in the ovens, I did a chat GPT for nutritional value. I'm sure some people will be interested in that. And so you'll see that added to the description. But there you saw the spinach. I do use steamable spinach package. Little bit just saves me time from washing and rinsing, and when I do loose spinach. And there was a time when there was some type of outbreak or discontinuation from some of the packaged spinach, and so I just started to supplement it with the frozen packets. So here you see me adding, so the spinach is in the microwave. It is, I'm steaming in the microwave. But there you see me here putting the nutritional yeast. I do add nutritional yeast to the spaghetti squash for flavor and for vitamins. It is good for B12, some different vitamins that's usually lacking in a vegan diet. And so I use nutritional yeast in a lot of my stuff, and I just kind of dash that in, you know, into the things that I cook with it. And so here you see me just pulling apart the squash, and I'm gonna put it in that pot that I have over there. So in the end, you'll just have the hard shell of the spaghetti squash. I do cook only for myself, so here you'll see me taste it with the fork and then use the same fork to finish it. But it's only me that's eating, so I can do that. So tasted it. I wanted it to have a little bit more of the yeast, a little bit more salt, and I added some more basil flakes to it as well right before I added the other half of the other half of the squash. Get all that good spaghetti squash in there. All right. And I'll put that to the side. Have that on there for when I'm ready to saute. Mix it up good from the other seasonings and things that I added to it. So make sure they're all mixed in real good. And then I go in for a final taste. Pretty good. Set that to the side. And now switch on over to my finished baked potato. Take that out of the air fryer. I'm gonna slice that into, it's a good medium-sized sweet potato, so just slicing it into 3 the long way. And then add some seasoning to it. It's still real hot, and so add some seasonings to those, and then wrap it back on up until I'm ready to plate. I added just some salt and some pink salt, and I believe it was just, I sprinkled a little bit of basil on there. But this is how I prepare my baked potatoes anyway. I don't add any butter. I don't even buy butter, so I don't eat butter. I don't add anything else to my sweet potatoes. It just be the taste of the good sweet potato, and it is pretty good without all the added things that we normally add to it. So close that right on up. Let that steam. And now it's time to make my squash and spinach. And so again, this will probably last me for a good 3 days. So I only saute what I'm gonna eat during that serving. And so it'll be each time I make my meal, this will be one of the things that I'm always doing, sauteing the spinach and the squash together. I don't want to cook it all just because I don't want it to sit for 3 days. I like that to be the hot component of my meal. So I like to saute it at the time that I'm eating. And so I usually let the oil get hotter before I put my garlic in. But you'll see me here just kind of make up for that. I like to have the olive oil infused with garlic kind of taste. And so I put my garlic into the puddle of olive oil. And then I just let that, get good and hot in that oil first. When I used to do it before, when I just added the garlic in, it's different hot spots of the skillet. And so sometimes a lot of the garlic will end up burnt or brown. And I don't really like that taste. And so I like to kind of get the garlic good and sauteed only in the oil first. And then when I lay it down flat, it doesn't brown too quickly. So then I'm putting in my spinach. It is, wet, so I'm squeezing it with the tongs as I'm pulling it out of the bag, so it's not all the way wet. And I eat a lot of spinach, so you'll see it'll probably be more spinach than spaghetti squash, but spinach is one of my main dishes for my diet. Just kind of let that get hot and infuse with the garlic. Toss that around a little bit. I do add some seasonings. I'm just rinsing off the tongues right now, but then I'll add just some salt and raw onion powder, I believe. And that's the onion powder, just a little. And then salt, just a little. And remember, everything like this is already cooked. I steamed the spinach, so it's cooked. The squash has been cooked in the oven, and so I'm only doing this for just to get them to melt together. I'm not re-cooking the food, although it may already be overcooked because I'm doing this process, especially for the spinach, but it won't be in here long with just for me to get them together. And then again, while I was doing the chat GPT nutritional values, it did say that I could add some flaxseed as to give it a little bit more. I think it was the omega-3. I'm not sure, but you'll see it in the description. So, and I keep some flaxseed on deck as well, so you'll see me add. I usually always add nutritional yeast again to the spinach as it is sauteing for a good added flavor. And so you'll see me add the nutritional yeast just a little bit, just sprinkling a little bit on there. And then you'll see me add the flaxseed. This is the first time I added the flaxseed. And so I just put just a little bit, just so I could kind of see if it changed the flavor. But I wanted the nutritional value of it, since I know this week is only vegetables. And so just giving that a good toss. It won't be too long that I keep it in this skillet. And that is it. Just kind of heat it up, get it all mixed in together. So that is for the spinach. And now dinner is ready. Time for me to plate my food. And so you'll see me add my sweet potato. I'm not, now that I think about it, where is my video? I just thought I didn't record the salad mixing my salad. Or did I? Did I forget to add that? I'm gonna have to check. So that's my potato. Got my spinach and my spaghetti squash. And then this is the salad that I realized I did not record. It was just the mixing of the bag. I added the radishes in there, cut up some cucumber, added that in there, cut up some beets. Yeah, no, I don't remember recording it. So yeah, it don't look good, but that salad is great. It does not look good, and it's probably because of the beets. You know, beets change the color of everything. It makes it kind of like a brownish, maroonish type of thing. But that is my meal. So you got the spaghetti squash, sweet potato, and the salad.